Have you ever thought about opening your own mobile cart or kiosk business? Maybe the facility you manage could establish new revenue by adding coffee, food, or retail services. Cart King International can be the answer to your needs. Cart King is a North American designer and manufacturer of the finest mobile coffee, food, and retail carts and kiosks. Cart King has been working with clients and corporations across North America for 20 years, providing innovative designs, custom manufacturing, and timely delivery. Carts and kiosks are fun, and so are the dozens of designs on our website. Please visit us today at www.cart-king.com or just call us at 1-877-986-7771 and get your sales rolling.
If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law. PureSoapFlakes.com, 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with Pure Soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. They're going to send a little extra soap, travel size, soap bars and laundry soap, cleaning soap flakes. I've been using that stuff all day long today. Great stuff. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild. Aquadam.net. Give them a call at 707-764-2119. A flooded home is never easy to deal with. You're left with the mess to clean up, having to deal with the insurance company, not to mention the memories that are lost that you can never replace. To those who live in flood-prone and hurricane-prone areas, which is just around the corner, prepare now. Hurricane season is right around the corner. Visit Aquadam.net to see how they can help you prepare to avoid flood damage this season and every season thereafter. An Aquadam can be another tool in your arsenal to protect your home and property from the floodwaters. A cofferdam, using water to control water, that can protect your home, your business, your church, your neighborhood, like a dam, but without the beavers. Give Aquadam a call at 707-764-2119, 707-764-2119, or look them up online at aquadam.net. They're also on Facebook at Aquadam Inc., or call or email them today. They can help you out. Give them a call. Tell them Opperman Report sent you. Opperman Report, that's 10% off the price to anyone who mentions the Opperman Report.
It's the Opperman Report. Join digital forensic investigator and PI Ed Opperman for an in-depth discussion of conspiracy theories, strategy of New World Order resistance, high-profile court cases in the news, and interviews with expert guests and authors on these topics and more. It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Okay, welcome to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, private investigator Ed Opperman. We are live Friday night, October 16th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find me at Opperman Investigations and Digital Forensic Consulting if you're looking for a private investigator. You can go to my website, emailrevealer.com, or you can email me directly at oppermaninvestigations@gmail.com. You can find me that way. If you like our shows, check out our Patreon. It's called the Opperman Report Patreon. And put up about 8 new hours of new content. I'm putting up a couple of old shows in the member section up there. One with Haskell, Richard Haskell, who was the shoe bomber witness on the airplane with the shoe bomber. It's Richard Haskell. Anyway, I think we put it up already. We just put it up this afternoon. I just forgot to promote it. And then I think another one we're putting up is Christine Joanna Hart, who was a private investigator involved with the Murdoch scandal, breaking into people's voicemails that went on in the UK back about 10, 15 years ago. It's kind of funny because when it went on, I knew how to do that. I knew how to get into people's voicemails too as well. But I didn't really do it. Anyway, move on. But I knew how to do it. Okay, so those two shows going up there. Then a show with Vicep. I did a show with Vicep about his new book about Epstein and Trump and stuff like that. And that'll be going up in the members, not in the members section, but in the Patreon tomorrow. Now, if you're a member of the old OppermanReport.com member section, we're not going to be putting up any new content up there anymore. It's just too difficult to deal with. And it's much easier over on Patreon. So if you're a member over there, you could just cancel your membership. You go to the Pico website. I can't cancel your membership for you. Some people are contacting me, emailing me, saying, yeah, I had to cancel my membership. If I could cancel your membership, I could go in there and charge things to your credit card. I could do all kinds of things. Okay, so I have no connection with that. You have to go to pico.com to cancel your membership on there. It's very simple to do, step-by-step little. If you just Google, how do I cancel my membership? And there's an unsubscribe thing right there in the email when you get it, when your bill comes due. So it's not very difficult at all, but I can't do it for you. Then also to our archives, you can find it at Spreaker.com. If you listen on YouTube, you're better off. There's a lot of times what will happen is when I play a repeat on Spreaker, and it automatically uploads to YouTube. If there's a problem, like there's a glitch in the internet upload and only half the show gets uploaded, on Spreaker, I'll fix that the same night so you get the full show on Spreaker with no interruptions, none of that dead air. But on YouTube, I have no way to go. I can't go back and upload a show on YouTube. It takes hours to upload to YouTube. It's a waste of time. So your best bet is to hang out at Spreaker.com. There's a great chat room there. There's you get an email notification anytime new content goes up. Anyway, we're 7 minutes into the show. Let's get going. Okay. I think I'm getting a little sick, man. We've been going to this little health food, vegetarian, vegan restaurant, like lunch place, where they have Wi-Fi and stuff like that. You can sit there and have a soup or a wrap, And so we've been going there quite a bit to get work done on our laptops. And a lot of people just walking in and out of there with no masks. And just sitting there today, just felt really sick. And I'm not feeling too good right now. I think I got a fever. And I've been coughing, this odd cough. And I'm really, really tired, which is a lot of the stuff you hear. And we just had Trump came to Ocala, Florida, which is not too far from me at all, less than 60 miles. And thousands of people right on top of each other with no masks. So, we just had him too, up here just last week too as well. So, and we have 150 deaths down here in Florida. So many of my neighbors too, you see them, they're so old and frail to begin with. If they catch this stuff, they're going under, man. It's not going to have a chance. So I really urge people to wear your masks and wash your hands, do the hand sanitizer, and social distance. Keep your distance from me. If you see me walking around out there, I really want no party hovering over me with your breath. We go to this little fruit stand almost every single day, and people just go down. They don't care. No mask, they're right on top of you, touching all the fruit, with their dirty hands. But I use my pure soap flake to wash the fruit and the vegetables when I bring it home because it's organic, it's pure, it's no chemicals or anything like that, so you can't taste it even. And once you rinse it off. The new study came out, Trump was saying in the debate last night, the town square, the town hall, that 85% of people with COVID claim that they were wearing masks, right? And so a lot of people, come to me and say, well, Ed, why do you do masks? Or mask is about obeying, compliance. It's, hysteria. We all wear seatbelts. We all put on our shoes and our shirt when we go into 7-Eleven. And no one's crying about that. So, people are sick. And people right around me are dying. Many people who listen to the show or guests on the show, we have caught this and been very, very sick. So we don't need this. And statistically, even if, you ask 100 people who got sick and say, well, were you wearing a mask? Many are going to lie and say, yeah, I wore a mask. Of course I did. How many are going to say, no, I didn't wear a mask? That's compliance. I don't wear a mask. They're not going to admit they were wrong, so it's definitely going to be more than 15%. But even still, these things, it's like, I get these clients, that get into trouble all the time. They always get trouble with the law, criminal defense cases. And you try and talk to them and talk some sense into them, and it's fascinating, especially, to prevent a second offense, repeat offenders. The guy gets arrested the first time, and you try and talk to him and say, listen, you got like a 33% chance of reoffending within 3 years. But those statistics go up, okay? If you've never graduated high school, it goes up. If you weren't married and had kids at the time of your arrest, it goes up. If you're not a homeowner, if you haven't graduated high school, big things, like if you don't have a driver's license. One of the first things I always ask people when they come in, do you have a license? Do you have a driver's license? And also, too, have you completed a drug rehab program? Now, people say, well, what's the correlation, Ed, between having a driver's license and reoffending as a criminal? Well, it really doesn't matter, because if you successfully accomplish all these things, you get your GED, you get a job, you get your driver's license, you complete a drug program, even if you're still using drugs, statistically, if you accomplish all these things, you're less likely to reoffend. So it's the same kind of thing. If you're wearing a mask, if you're washing your hands, if you're social distancing, if you're staying at home and just leaving people alone, you're less likely to spread this disease. So, and there's no reason why not to go just go through the motions and go along. You're helping people, prevent people from getting sick. Okay, so let's see. On October 12th, we'll start off with the SEAL Team 6 and the new YouTube video came out, this whistleblower that came in. Trump retweeted it, and it's been all over the news. It's kind of odd, okay, and I'm going to give you a little background on this, and my background on this. I try and bring you something new, not just my opinions and stuff, but also my personal experiences in dealing with the situations. You have some new information to deal with. Now, the big YouTube video that came out that had the CIA whistleblower and the father of someone at Benghazi, right? Now, got 2 million hits in 2 days, right? And it's all about how SEAL Team 6 that went in there to rescue bin Laden, how they were all shot down and killed to silence them because it wasn't the real bin Laden. Bin Laden was somewhere else. Okay, and that was one of his doubles. And it was released on October 12th with a heavy emphasis that Biden was in on this, and Hillary Clinton was in on this, and Obama was in on this, and it was all a big cover-up, and they're traitors, and blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Now, in the past, and I've talked about this in the past several times before, a YouTube video will come out, and people will start sending it to me. And here's the pattern. I'll get suddenly a new friend request from somebody new, and I'll look at who their friends are. And they're friends with people in the alt media, quote unquote. These, like they'll be friends with William Ramsey or, Jimmy Church maybe, or oh boy, I'm drawing a blank. I can't even think of any of the people. Anyway, other alt media radio hosts or YouTubers, right? And I'll accept them, right? And a few minutes later or the next day, they'll send me this video, and it's like, Ed, we gotta get this out. We gotta make this go viral. So now here's this person who's never bothered to friend request me before. They know I got a radio show, but never bothered before. But now suddenly they got their hands on this video, and the first thing that came into their head was, let me make friends with Ed Opperman and get this to him so he can circulate this information. So right off the bat, and this has happened a couple of times in the past, and always with very suspect topics and suspect information. So right away, my antenna go up that, hey, this is one of those viral type propaganda pieces, controlled opposition type information. Now, what makes this even more odd is about 6 years ago, I did an interview with Charles Strange about the SEAL Team 6. His son was, he believes his son was the first guy to go in on the raid. And at the time, he was very suspicious about the whole thing. And there was this really bizarre thing that went on that we talk about in the interview called the ramp ceremony, where they had a ceremony with all the coffins where they brought in a local imam who came in, and with this, there's a video of this. He starts cursing the bodies to hell, saying that they were foreign invaders, and they infidels, all this kind of crazy. And the captains, they just let this go on, like they invited him in, and he cursed these soldiers to hell, cursed their souls to hell. Most bizarre thing, we can think of no explanation for this to explain this. But there's a YouTube out there video with it, of the live, ceremonies that went on. And the father came on my show very passionate and talked about it. And by some wild coincidence, I happened to release that same repeat of that on October 12th. And not much long after that, these other guys came up with this video. Same thing in the title, right? SEAL Team 6, blah, blah, blah. And they get 2 million hits. And what I get, maybe 2,000 hits? So I find that odd, that what made them release this on the same day that I released my thing? I've seen this kind of thing before, with stuff I'm working on in the background, and I see there's a whole big disinformation thing goes on to distract it from what I'm doing. So there's that. All right. Now, so then I didn't get a chance to listen to their thing until today. I started looking around for it, and it was taken down. According to the YouTube, it was taken down by the people who put it up. But other people had mirrored it and put it up, so I got a chance to watch that. And then I watched other interviews with the guy who's this CIA whistleblower, quote unquote, who's a falconeer. He's a falcon hunter, and he knows Bin Laden, and he knows these Arab Emirates because they all hunt using falcons. Okay, fine. He lived around there, traveled with all these falcon people. And obviously was using that as a cover for, or as some kind of a informant or working for the CIA in some capacity. I believe he probably was. Okay? And I'm listening to these things, and I'm hearing, they're putting up phone calls with him talking to people, lawyers and stuff like that, and people that are around Biden and stuff. And I'm listening to him, and there's a lot of holes in his story, And I say this to you from my experience, that a lot of people come to me with information, and they're whistleblowing. They got this deep information. They worked here and they worked there and all this kind of stuff, and they start telling me, and I can confirm this. I have all the evidence and this documentation. I have recorded phone calls. I have all this stuff. And then as they start sending me the stuff, the documentation is usually letters that they sent to people, lawyers, and conversations they had with lawyers and stuff, where they're telling this story to this lawyer, and the lawyer said, "Oh boy, that's interesting. I'd love to hear more." But really, this is nothing there, And I've seen this over and over. So this whole thing is really odd to me. And maybe it's a coincidence that their thing came out the same thing day that mine played the repeat, or maybe they saw me put it out and then they ran to put it up off schedule. The same pattern too of seeing things being promoted in this kind of way with these new people, these strangers. Hey, Ed, you got to promote this, like we're all on the same team. We're all on, very odd, bizarre to me. And the third thing is my own personal experience with the Bin Laden, Osama Bin Laden. When I first got into the cell phone forensics business in 2003, I was at a PI convention in Nevada, and these guys came down from this cell phone forensics company, and it turned out that who they were CIA contractors. They were civilian contractors working in Afghanistan, and their role there was these were the guys who cloned Bin Laden's phone, and they were doing a lot of cell phone forensics on the fly there, on the ground, hunting down Bin Laden. But for some reason, they were sent home from Afghanistan in 2003, and they opened up the civilian company, but they still had connections to the CIA. Now, when I met these guys, at first I didn't think I would ever have any use for this product or this service. I never thought I would get into it. But then, shortly after that, I came to the conclusion, hey, I can use this for infidelity investigations. So I contacted them, and I had them do all my cell phone forensics for me. I marketed it on the internet. They do catch them cheating. We can recover deleted text messages to catch your boyfriend or your husband cheating on his cell phone. Recover deleted text, images, pictures. Phone records, because right around the same time, too, they made it unlawful in the United States to get copies of people's cell phone records. So this is perfect. And I said, this is the perfect replacement for obtaining cell phone records. And I was doing a ton of phones. And I would just get the phones to me. I'd send them over there. They'd send them back. And send them to the client. I was doing so many phones that one of the guys who worked for them doing training left and came to work for me exclusively. And then I got the software, and I started doing it myself. We were both doing these phones, and we're doing tons and tons and tons of phones. And until the Sarah Palin situation came up. And around the time with the Sarah Palin thing, we needed to do a Kyocera phone. And in the software we had, there was no software to process a Kyocera phone. And as I called him up, I said, hey, I got this big case I'm working on. Sarah Palin's involved, Todd Palin's involved. But I can't get into this Kyocera. You got somebody who can do this. They says, Ed, you're not going to believe this, but we just happen to have beta software that can get into the Kyocera. We don't have all the bugs worked out of it, but we're going to send you a copy off on the arm there. And then later on, I was told, we were able to process the phone and get all the information out of that phone. And then later on, that information went to a congressional investigation, congressional hearings looking at the Secret Service misbehavior. But later on, I contacted them, and I was going to try and work out a deal with them for free advertising in exchange for software. And they were all down for it. And they said to me, hey, Ed, this will be great for both of us. And when you come down there, they're based in Virginia. They're based in Virginia and Utah. And says, when you come down here, we'll take you down to Langley and introduce you to David. And I said, oh, great, that sounds great. But I didn't even know what they were talking about. So when I got off the phone, I looked it up and I said, it's David, CIA, David Petraeus. These guys knew David Petraeus because they were on duty with him in Afghanistan. Now, my point I'm trying to make here is that they were hunting Bin Laden and they were sent home in 2003. They know their services were no longer required to go look for Bin Laden. So it's always been my assumption that somehow Bin Laden came under control in 2003. Now, these guys are not into all this alt media, conspiracy theory. They don't want to get involved in anything that I talk about on my show, and wouldn't even know where to start processing the kind of stuff I talk about on here, or the stuff I've been involved in. They were excited about the Tiger Woods thing, and then, and Sarah Palin, but would never discuss this kind of thing with me. Neither would most people who really are, have been contract workers for CIA or anything like that. They don't become whistleblowers and go on YouTube shows. That's just not how, that hasn't been my experience about how life works. Okay, so in my experience, on having people come to me that are quote-unquote whistleblowers with this kind of information, just like I heard on this YouTube video that was suspecting me from the very start, because like I said, I was contacted in advance early on before anybody heard about this video saying, hey, we got to make this go viral, which I've seen that pattern before. Then hearing the guy talk to these phone recordings and stuff like that, it just seems to be holes in there. And once again, I've heard those conversations before, and no material turns up. Now, if this guy has these documents he's talking about and these recordings, if he has them and they start turning up in the next couple of days, that's a whole nother story. It's also very suspect to me that he turns this up and he wants to use it to bash Biden and Hillary and Obama and all that stuff like that right before the Trump defeat that appears to be coming around the corner, that even Trump's own people claim, his own campaign staff believes he's about to lose. Okay, so that's the whole CIA SEAL Team 6 thing. One of the other things I want to talk about is Hunter Biden. Okay? Hunter Biden, you gotta love this, man. Oh, boy. Now, here's the story with this. Now, again, another bizarre thing. The official story goes that Hunter Biden wants to get some data recovered from his laptop. He brings it over to his computer shop in Delaware, okay? And then he leaves it there and he forgets all about it, okay? Now, when you see the man's lifestyle, you can kind of believe that he did forget it, okay? Because a lot of stuff's come out about the guy this week. That's pretty wonderful. So the owner of the computer shop says he was trying to retrieve data, and he was disturbed by some of the material and comments that he saw on the laptop. So he contacted the FBI, and I think this was in December of 2019, 1 year ago, right around the time of the impeachment hearings. So the FBI had this material at the time of the impeachment hearings, which was all about, Trump extorting the president of the Ukraine, withholding aid in exchange for dirt on the Bidens and the Clintons. So it's kind of related information. So then he says, well, a year went by and I never heard back from the FBI, so I contacted Rudy Giuliani. And Rudy Giuliani hooks him up with this lawyer named Costello. What is this? Robert Costello. And I just heard a couple of minutes ago from Michael Cohen that when Michael Cohen had his problems too, Giuliani tried to hook him up with Michael Costello. Now, what can I tell you about this? Okay? What can I tell you about this? As you know, I've been involved in a few things in my life. One thing is digging up dirt, opposition research on politicians. Now, also is possessing information that has value. Okay? And how do you profit from that? In this situation, let's say I'm a computer repair store guy, right? And I'm just told to recover some files. Right? And those are basic software recovery tools. You recover the data. You're not going to sit there and read through that data or look through the pictures. It's very unusual. Okay, so he must have known this was Biden, and this guy went off on his own little nosy surveillance here to look for dirt on Hunter Biden. Okay, because he recognized the Biden name, So he went looking in there for stuff to find. Otherwise, you're not going to find it. You're not going to look at that. Even when I do real reports looking for this stuff, I don't go looking through it. I send it to the lawyers or the client, and they look through it for what they want. Sometimes I'm hired to find specific details, but very unusual. My job is just to recover the data and send it to the lawyer. So, for some reason, this guy chose to go through this. He finds some dirt on Hunter Biden, and it's pretty good dirt, okay? There's a couple of things in there. If this proves to be accurate, there's a couple of good things in it, where there's a deal where he's coming out. We want this amount per year, and then we need this month for travel money. And then $10K a month goes to the big guy. Okay? You're negotiating your salary and the benefits arrangement with the company here that you're going to be representing them. And you don't... Who's the big guy? Why can't you say the big guy's name? And then there's another pretty bad email where he's talking to his daughter. His daughter wants $150 from this crackhead. And he's complaining to her. And saying, oh, let me tell you something, I've been taking care of the entire family all these years, and I hope, you don't have a situation like your grandfather who expects 50% of all of our salaries kicked back to him. Okay? And we're, paraphrasing, right? So he's kind of claiming that, Joe Biden demands 50% of Hunter Biden's and Hunter Biden's brother and brother-in-law, sister-in-law there, well, half of their salaries, of their income each year, obviously because they make their income off of his influence and connections. And there's another one, too, where he's talking to a businessman in Ukraine, and it's clear that he arranged a meeting between this businessman and his father, because the guy's thanking him for it. Now, it's unusual someone would be so bold to make those kind of comments in writing. You know, there's an old saying, say it, forget it, write it, regret it. And there's something people should really learn. Okay, they don't want to write these kind of things down. Even if you're being cryptic and hinting around, it's still sloppy and childish. You don't want to do that. You have those conversations, and you know, you want to have them in person if you can. But you know, if you have to have it over the phone, you know, talk in general terms. Because again, phone recordings can be recorded as well. And it's clear that Biden is up to some shenanigans as far as his international business dealings. There's no doubt about that from reading these emails. And from reading the recent IG report that came out about 2 weeks ago, where this guy was visiting countries all over the world, you know, with his hand out, looking for money, looking for jobs and business opportunities. Based on what? Based on his crack addiction? I don't think so. And there's some other good stuff in it, too. Might be able to take a commercial break, right? Let me take the time. That's a good, perfect time. A little commercial break. We'll be right back after these messages. And now a word from our sponsors.
Have you ever thought about opening your own mobile cart or kiosk business? Maybe the facility you manage could establish new revenue by adding coffee, food, or retail services. Cart King International can be the answer to your needs. Cart King is a North American designer and manufacturer of the finest mobile coffee, food, and retail carts and kiosks. Cart King has been working with clients and corporations across North America for 20 years, providing innovative designs, custom manufacturing, and timely delivery. Carts and kiosks are fun, and so are the dozens of designs on our website. Please visit us today at www.cart-king.com or just call us at 1-877-986-7771 and get your sales rolling.
PureSoapFlakes.com, 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with pure soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. They're going to send a little extra soap, travel size, soap bars and laundry soap, cleaning soap flakes. I've been using that stuff all day long today. Great stuff. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild.
Tina Helmuth is writing an ongoing series of fact-fiction books that boldly takes on today's most heinous crimes. Suffer the Little Children, The Wrath of the Father, and Unbreakable. Deeply researched and mixed with the supernatural, good versus evil makes these thrillers hard to put down. Available at lulu.com in paperback or ebook.
If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law.
It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Okay. Welcome back to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, private investigator Ed Opperman. Yeah, I got a message from Shane during the commercial that the audio was kind of choppy, and that's because there's a setting here in Spreaker that if I don't lower it every single time, I can see that little meter jumping up and down, and I can tell there's some kind of choppiness going on there. But the situation here with the computers is a nightmare. You really can't imagine. But just so you know, like if you're listening to this like on iHeart or iTunes or YouTube, after the show's already been broadcast, there's no point in sending me a message saying, hey, there's a problem with the audio. That's not going to help anything. It's not going to go to Spreaker. Usually there's a better version over there, and you can listen to the better version there without contacting me. And I have to go through another email, someone complaining. Now, Hunter Biden. Okay, so now the theory, the story they're trying to sell to us is the computer repairman sees some stuff in there. Why he's looking in there, the only motivation is he recognized him, Biden, and he's looking for dirt. He sees it, sends it to the FBI first, and then they do nothing. So he calls up Rudy Giuliani, and he somehow gets through to Giuliani and gets this to him. And then they find all this dirt. Giuliani sends it to the New York Post. Now, chain of custody here is a disaster. Okay, but we can work with it. But now the thing is, I got people coming to me all the time. Hey, Ed, I got this information. What can we do with it? Can we sell it and sell it to the National Enquirer? Or someone will come to me for information. I'll say, look, we got a lawsuit here. We sell it to the tabloids, or we can do a radio show. Many options. So Mr. Computer Repair Guy has dirt on Biden. And he has emails where they're talking about tens of millions, 20s of millions, 30s of millions of dollars a year in salary. This guy getting $10K a month. This one, another guy getting $20K a month. That's a lot of money. So, and his first motivation is to say, well, there's a lot of money being passed around here. I'm kind of holding it. I got the key to that fortune here sitting right here in my lap, literally in a laptop. What's step one? How would we do this, man? The first guy you go to, okay, to shop that around is Biden. You go to the Biden people. Hey, man, we got some really bad information here. I've recovered it for you. Is there a reward? You got a reward for this over here? For doing this work for me? We want to help you out. How can we help you out? That's step one, man. Step two is, it's opposition research. We can sell it to the Trump campaign. What are they willing to pay? They'll pay, but not as much as the Biden campaign would pay. And, okay. Now, what is it, though, that motivated this guy to go looking in this computer? Right? People say, well, he has conservative views. That's possible. What I think happened here, from my seasoned experience, lifetime of doing just this kind of thing, okay, is that he was approached. Maybe by a foreign, we got there's an investigation right now into this, that and can you trust it, but they're saying that Giuliani's like a Russian dupe, he's being duped by these Russian agents. They asked Michael Cohen about it tonight, and he says, yeah, Rudy's drunk all the time, it's very possible. Stumbling around, My thinking is someone followed Biden and knew or had Biden's phone tapped, and they knew this is where he dropped off his computer for repair. They contacted the owner of the place. They made a deal with him. When the laptop came in, or maybe after it was there, then they obtained the hard drive. They sent it to they told him to send a copy to the FBI. Look what we found here. This is great stuff. We can use this in the impeachment. Send it to the FBI. Nothing happened. They held on to it for a year, and then used it now, October surprise. That's what I think happened here. Okay? And I don't know how many other people out there who have the kind of experience and the knowledge in this kind of area, better than me. But this is what I see what happened here. And will anything come out of this? It's interesting, too, that there's a lot of salacious type dirt in this, too. Let me see if I can turn it. I don't even know which one is my microphone. Put this one on here. I can't do it now. It's somebody to turn up the mic, but I can't turn up the mic because I got no lights in here. I can't see which of these knobs is for the microphone. Anyway, I'll just yell into the microphone. How's that? 'Cause it's been a long day. I'm very tired. Like I said, I think I caught the coronavirus. Okay. I actually thought, I don't want to get into that. Now, another thing. Let's get into some comments from people from the past week. Because one of the things I wanted to do here was that people could try and claim that I have Trump derangement syndrome. Well, maybe I have Biden derangement syndrome because I just told you something negative about Biden. You know, I just tell you, I report to you what I see and what I know, my experiences, and what I see on the news and my experience with it. The best I could do, all right? So let's get into the whole Hunter Biden sex toys. Okay? Because it started on page 6 of the New York Post, who was obviously getting fed a lot of information on this Hunter Biden guy. These pictures from Biden's computer where he's looking like a real shady character with a crack pipe in his mouth. And a story about how he went to the Hustler strip club in Manhattan 1 year ago, by the way. This is a year ago, just recently. And he's in there. They think he's on drugs. And he's spending thousands of dollars on strippers with his date in there, but he's moaning and whining about sending his own kid $150 for a Lyft, for an Uber, you know. So, but then they got him down, and he sends them out because he wants them to purchase for him a sex toy to be used on him, right? Which, you know, let's just assume what that is, okay? Which is very interesting. This whole crowd of guys are all into that, man. You know, there's a whole thing about Bill O'Reilly where he had this vibrating dildo, and he would use it on himself while having phone sex with his employees. Not even willing for anything for phone sex, phone harassment. I've seen phone calls with employees that worked for him. There's a lawsuit that he settled. And you can read the transcript of this thing. It's hysterical. Google Bill O'Reilly falafel. And I read the whole thing one time. People thought I was making it up. I'd love to find it and go back and read it again. But he's telling this girl about his fantasy about taking her into the shower and getting the falafel and rubbing her down. Because he was thinking of the word loofah. Okay, which is that like spongy material they use in the shower, but he had it confused with the word falafel. So he's talking about using a falafel. Falafel's like a pita bread, you know? Anyway, so Bill O'Reilly was into this whole thing with the vibrating dildo. We hear about Jeffrey Epstein into that whole thing too. You heard stories about Charlie Sheen. These guys into these prosthetic penises. Men, I've never heard of this, but it seems that Joe Biden Jr. is involved in this too as well. Also, you see very graphic descriptions of Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and his drug abuse. Now, when you look at a guy like this, you know, and it is trouble life too, man. Walking through a homeless camp, and the guy pulls a gun on him, you know, all kinds of stuff. Got kicked out of I think it was the Navy. Charmed life, you know. Everything life has to offer, and this turns out to be so pathetic. And why is that? A lot of times, you know, why do people turn to a life of self-destruction and drug abuse and risky behavior? Risky sexual behavior, you know. And a lot of times it's because of early childhood abuse, sexual abuse, and physical abuse. And here we have a situation where we see Joe Biden very clearly on video, all over YouTube videos, hundreds of them at this point, with him inappropriately touching little girls and little children. So, you know, when you got a little pattern, you know, you look out the window, there's snow on the ground. Well, maybe it snowed last night. You know, it's one of those kind of situations. Let's see, what else we got here? Hey, oh, whoa, listen to this. I got a good one for you. How about this? Guy, you know, comes to me, right? It came to me recommended through a friend. Says, hey, I want you to interview me. Because I got this little series of podcasts coming out about this little investigation that I'm doing. I said, okay, fine. I'll love to have you on. Okay? Give you a break. All right? So then, you know, he puts together a little podcast. I'm playing his podcast for him, right, on my platforms. Then he comes to me and says, hey, Ed, I'd love to interview you about Ted Gunnison. Let's talk about Ted Gunnison. I said, okay, I'll tell you what I know about Ted Gunnison. So, and it's up in the member section, too, the interview. You can listen to it. It's up in the member section in Patreon. Right? For a casual conversation, right? So, okay, fine. Then he sends me an email about a month later saying, hey, Ed, I don't want you to feel like I sandbagged you or I set you up or anything like that. I'm doing this other project, you know. I said, okay. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm not paying attention. Who cares what he does? And today I log in my Twitter. I got 10 notifications from the Church of Satan. Okay. All right, the Church of Satan. There's a week-long series of seminars. I don't know what the hell it is. With the Church of Satan, okay? And a lot of these names, you know, well-known names. And I see in there this guy talking about Ted Gunderson, the guy who interviewed me about Ted Gunderson. So I contacted him. I said, man, dude, what the hell is this? Why don't you tell me about this? He said, well, you're not involved in this. This is something different project. Okay, well, fine. I still don't want the 10 notifications, okay, from the Church of Satan in my Twitter feed during the day. I want no involvement with that. And I can't imagine why anybody, this is the kind of thing you would run away from. I can't understand why anybody would get involved in that. Even someone like Mr. Trump, okay, as crazy as he is. Now, people say I have Trump derangement syndrome, right? Because I report on the things that Donald Trump has done in his life and things that he has said in his life, okay? And my personal experience with Trump and the people around him. So that causes me to have a derangement syndrome because the listener doesn't like hearing it, okay? And because I must hate Trump and be looking for bad things to say about him, just for some reason, because I'm crazy. Right? Just spent an hour talking about Biden, but I'm crazy about Trump, right? And I can understand that kind of a way too, because when people are a victim of a con man, they don't want to believe that they're a victim. They don't want to believe they want to believe that the con man really loves them. I see it all the time. Right? But I got a question now, because just last night, a lot of these people who say that I have Trump derangement syndrome will tell me to, Ed, trust the plan, where we go one, where we go all, right? You know what I'm getting at here. And Ed, there's 150,000 sealed indictments out there, and Trump is rounding up pedophiles. And Ed, when you say he's not, you're crazy. Because here's an article by Liz Cronkite that says that Trump is responsible for rounding up 1,500 pedophiles in his first week of office. More than the whole Obama administration of 8 years. Must be true. This knucklehead wrote it, right? Done several stories about reports on that, about how that's a complete fraud. Okay, I gave the numbers of the public information officers at the police departments that ran those raids. They've been going on for years and years before Trump ever even announced he was running for president. But what do we have now? Okay, this group, this wild LARPing group of QAnon supporters, right? All been telling me for 2 years now, 3 years now, that Trump has sealed indictments. He's about to make mass arrests, put people in Gitmo and arrest elite pedophiles and pedophile rings, all stuff. Despite the fact that Trump has more friends that are rapists and pedophiles than anybody I can even imagine on the face of the earth. So they asked him about this last night. Mr. Trump, what do you know about QAnon? I don't know nothing about it. Okay? This is the guy who's leading the army. This is the guy leading the fight. He's the one, he's your guy. He's your hero. What are you saying now? When he says he don't know you. He don't know nothing about you. Well, he hears you guys hate pedophiles. I guess that's a good thing. He doesn't say, well, I'm leading the fight, and we're about to reveal JFK Jr. risen from the dead. He doesn't say any of that. When's he going to say it? He's going to lose the election in 3 weeks. When's he going to say it? Trust the plan, keep waiting? That you think that he's going to hold this back. This guy that brags about the weather. When there's good weather out, he brags about it. But you really think that he's going to hold this back 3 weeks before the election? If he had any kind of indictment to do, he would do it before the election. Because after the election, he's lame duck, right? He's not going to do it then. Why would he bother? He's not going to be president. He'll get out, they'll convict him. But he just said to you that he don't know who you are. Now what do you say? Okay? What do you tell me now? What is all these things? Okay, let me, I gotta fix this real quick. And we'll get toward the end of the show. Can I talk and fix at the same time? I wonder. Can I? I can't. I'm getting too old. And my arm is falling apart, man. I got one arm. I tore my bicep. And I can't believe how much it's affecting my life. It's really screwing up a lot of stuff with my life, man. And I don't know what the solution to that is. Let's see. Well, I might as well talk about this. I've had a lot of guests on this show. Right? Let's talk about this first. Okay? The McCluskeys. right? A lot of people last week, I was talking to you about the McCluskeys. These are the two lawyers that just got arrested last week. They got charged by the grand jury for brandishing their weapons and pointing their weapons at unarmed people based on some perceived property damage, right? And I gave the analogy, hey, what if you're arguing with your neighbor about a parking space, right? Or maybe they ran over your car they bumped into your car, they crashed into your car, right? And you took waving a gun at them. Is that how you want to live, where you fight with your neighbors, you argue with your neighbors, there's no physical bodily threat, there's no armed confrontation, you're not pointing a gun at them first, but they can start pointing a gun at you and you think that's okay. That's how you want to live. And I explained to you that that's not how it works, okay? If you're brandishing a weapon, and you can't shoot people for property damage, okay? You can't shoot people for trespassing on your property. There has to be a bodily threat, serious threat of imminent injury and death, okay? Before you can start pulling a weapon out and start shooting people. Then I also pointed out, if they really did want to protect their home, it's not a wise move to take off your shoes, okay, or be in your bare feet and grab your guns and run out on your front lawn and start yelling at people and waving a gun at them, especially when there's a large crowd. I'll give you an example, and you can look up these statistics. Law enforcement officers, police officers, cops, when they are in a combat situation, firing their weapons, they only hit the person they're shooting at, I think it's 11% of the time. Whereas civilians, it's only about 8% of the time. 7% of the time. So, here you got these guys, right? He's got a rifle. Maybe there's 30 rounds in there. She's got a small handgun. Maybe there's 8 rounds in there. Okay? So, they got about 40 bullets. And they got about 100 people out there. Okay? So, their plan is to defend their homes. They're going to run out on their front lawn in their bare feet and start waving guns around, attracting attention to this, where they can get picked off from 100 feet away. Okay? Someone else fires the first shot. Picks them off. Just because they're in. Ed, what would you do, Ed, if a mad crowd was destroying property and then attacking you in Victoria? What would you do? Just keep your arm, keep your gun on your sling there. No, I told you what I would do. I would take a position on the second floor with the rifle and have the woman with the handgun down the first near the front door or window. That's how you defend your home. Okay? And I don't say this, okay, because I watch a lot of TV, okay? Well, back when I lived on Staten Island, and I was out there doing a lot of stuff, there was a period of time, and I had problems with people, organized crime types, smuggler types, all kinds of types, okay? And there was a period of time where I actually wore 2 guns. I carried 2 guns with me every day. I had a Walter PPK on my ankle, and I had a Taurus 9mm, okay? Looks just like the Beretta 9mm. But it's a mock-off. And I was usually have that. I had either a shoulder holster or I had a behind the back kidney. And I also wore a Kevlar vest every day, okay? Because that's the life that I lived at the time. And I also had off-duty cops driving me around, okay? That's how serious things are, all right? And every now and then, I would get an unexpected doorbell ring at my door, right? And the way I would deal with this is I would get my gun, right? I had a shotgun too. I would keep on the terrace. And I would go out on the terrace there. That was on the 3rd floor. And I yelled down and said, yeah, who is it? All right? I got the bird's eye position. I see who's approaching my home. Is there a car out there with 4 guys in it? All right? Is there a guy delivering a pizza? I live this every day. So this is why when I tell you how I think they should defend their home, because I did it every day, 365 days a year, and I'm still here to talk about it. The McCluskeys are in jail. Okay, all right. So I don't listen, and I don't need irresponsible people giving irresponsible advice about stand your ground laws and stuff like that. I've worked on hundreds and hundreds of criminal defense cases, and I know when someone's going to jail, and I know when someone's going to be convicted. These guys, they're going to get convicted for this. They're supposedly getting some kind of pardon, but they're definitely going to get convicted. We're running out of time. I had some other stuff I wanted to talk about, but we're not going to get to it. Let me see what we're doing here. Yeah, we're out of time. Anyway, if you like tonight's show, be sure and sign up to our Patreon at Opperman Report. Opperman Report Patreon. You go there, there's some brand new content. You can listen to the same show I just did right now, ad-free, no commercials. On Patreon. Oh, boy. And coming up after this, I have S. Brian Wilson, Blood on the Tracks, who's an activist back in the 80s and 70s and 80s and stuff like that after the Vietnam War. And he put his body out on the railroad tracks trying to stop a munitions train in 1989, I think it was. And the train didn't stop, ran right over and lost his legs. Then after that, I have Jay Myers documentaries. He does all kind of documentaries about the same topics that we cover here on his YouTube channel. I had him come on too as well. We cover a lot of interesting stuff. Thank you so much. Good night. I'll see you next week. And now a word from our sponsors. If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law.
Have you ever thought about opening your own mobile cart or kiosk business? Maybe the facility you manage could establish new revenue by adding coffee, food, or retail services. Cart King International can be the answer to your needs. Cart King is a North American designer and manufacturer of the finest mobile coffee, food, and retail carts and kiosks. Cart King has been working with clients and corporations across North America for 20 years, providing innovative designs, custom manufacturing, and timely delivery. Carts and kiosks are fun, and so are the dozens of designs on our website. Please visit us today at www.cart-king.com or just call us at 1-877-986-7771 and get your sales rolling.
PureSoapFlakes.com, 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with pure soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. They're going to send a little extra soap, travel size, soap bars and laundry soap, cleaning soap flakes. I've been using that stuff all day long today. Great stuff. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild.
Are you ready to change your life, but don't know how to start? Is your stress and worries keeping you awake at night? Have you been battling grief, anxiety, or depression all alone? Have you lost touch with your own sense of being or spirituality? Soul Free Therapies offers professional and affordable live video streaming counseling and coaching services from the comfort of your own home. Sessions offered in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Go to our website at www.soul-free.com and book your first session today.
Aquadam.net. Give them a call at 707-764-2119. A flooded home is never easy to deal with. You're left with the mess to clean up, having to deal with the insurance company, not to mention the memories that are lost that you can never replace. To those who live in flood-prone and hurricane-prone areas, which is just around the corner, prepare now. Hurricane season is right around the corner. Visit aquadam.net to see how they can help you prepare to avoid flood damage this season and every season thereafter. And Aquadam can be another tool in your arsenal to protect your home and property from the floodwaters. A coffer dam, using water to control water, that can protect your home, your business, your church, your neighborhood, like a dam, but without the beavers. Give Aquadam a call at 707-764-2119, 707-764-2119, or look them up online at aquadam.net. They're also on Facebook at Aquadam Inc., or call or email them today. They can help you out. Give them a call. Tell them Opperman Report sent you. Opperman Report, that's 10% off the price to anyone who mentions the Opperman Report.
Tina Helmuth is writing an ongoing series of fact-fiction books that boldly takes on today's most heinous crimes. Suffer the Little Children, The Wrath of the Father, and Unbreakable. Deeply researched and mixed with the supernatural, good versus evil makes these thrillers hard to put down. Available at lulu.com in paperback or ebook.